Hardcore Lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe. I'm your Wednesday night host here at BodyBags. It is week 362. August has officially begun. It's random week, and so I thought I would run with a film that is very near and dear to my heart, going way back to my youth, of course. Tobe Hooper's follow-up to the seminal classic 1974 Texas Chainsaw with his Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 in 1986, so about 12 years after. A much different film, but one that, I think in a lot of ways is a reflection of the decade that produced it as much as the first one was a reflection of the decade that produced it. And so they ought to be different films. And so I do have the gruesome edition, but I also have the Arrow, and this is the artwork. Now the edition I think I first saw of this was on Moodz Shelf by Shelf, and I think it was like the double disc special edition or whatever box. Same artwork, but this is obviously the slimmed down reissue. But also, of course, the infamous Breakfast Club scene artwork inside. Of course, Arrow's known for that, for their artwork on both sides, right? So 1986, Tobe Hooper teams up with Kit Carson to write a follow-up to his infamous seminal classic, and it's, in some ways sort of like Sam Raimi's follow-up with Evil Dead 2 compared with Evil Dead. You could say, I guess. So doing a little bit of reading. First of all, let's just get into this a little bit here. It's been about 12 years, and the family's of course been out, hop skipping around here in Texas. Body's been coming up missing, and all along, Dennis Hopper's character Lefty, who's a sort of washed up ranger, who's been out on the hunt after this family as a result of his nephew, both Franklin and Sally's demise at the hands of this family. He's been out on the trail ever since, and pretty much almost getting to the end of that, where how much more can he go? But of course, for our film, his path as well as the family's will intersect. But there's so we got Dennis Hopper in here, Caroline Williams is Stretch, who plays a DJ of a radio station. Jim Siedow is the only one who really comes back and lives his former character as the cook. But enter Bill Moseley, who plays Chop Top, who's the twin brother of Newman's, who was off to Vietnam, has now come home. And of course, Bill Johnson will pick up where Gunnar Hansen left off and will fill the shoes of Leatherface, right? And so right off the bat, a little bit of reading I've been doing. I didn't realize that initially the script for the follow-up was to deal with an entire town of cannibals, and I do believe the name of the film is going to be Beyond the Valley of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that's interesting. But when Cannon got its hands on this, unfortunately, major changes came in the script, as well as about $1 million off the budget right at the last second. So in a way, what we have here is sort of alternative vision of maybe what we would have got had other things happen. Not so far different than Romero's experience on Day of the Dead, right? So you get a great cast though, and this film, unlike the first one, man, is full of color. And if you can see behind me, one thing I want to just point out here with this is the upscale effect. I do have a 4K player now. This is the regular Arrow Blue, but it's in the 4K, and so there's this upscale effect where it sort of brings it up a bit, and so it's a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more colorful. It just looks a little bit better, and so pretty amazing to revisit it like this. Now, Scream Factory has an unbelievable release of this film as well, and of course, there's the DVD gruesome edition that's out there, or at least was out there. This movie brings in Mr. Tom Savini, and of course, with the makeup, special effects. I think he'll say that his effect on Grandpa was maybe some of his best effects that he's ever done. And so really, basically the catalyst for all of what will happen in this film comes about when you got a couple yuppies who are out there shooting off their guns decide to play chicken with, little do they know, members of the Chainsaw Clan. Well, they have their fun for the moment, but a little bit later on, they will run smack right into them again on this incredible bridge scene, which will result in the Yuppies' demise. Well, all this, though, gets caught, recorded on radio as a result of them calling into a radio station. Enter Caroline Williams as the DJ, and her number one guy, LG. And so as a result of Dennis Hopper's character and Caroline and Stretch's character sort of, colliding, the request will be made that she play that clip of what happened on the bridge on the radio, and in order to sort of flush them out. So she will, and they will, and they'll make a grand appearance at the radio station, which is so awesome, and maybe perhaps contains one of the best jump scares in cinematic history, perhaps. Other than that, man, the movie just sort of takes on this Evil Dead 2-ish, in terms of its just over-the-topness, but it does still remember its roots, although it never really tries to be what it was. It tries to be what it is, a byproduct of the 1980s. And so when I'm 16, in 86, and this movie hits, it really is a reflection of what, 6 years of really what we've just had. So it just feels natural. This movie feels as natural to the decade as the original felt to it. And I only wish that somehow Hooper would have been able to, basically get the older version of this script, and maybe as a third entry, go that next logical step somewhere in the mid-90s. And as a reflection of that decade, you've got Beyond the Valley of the Texas Chainsaw, which I think would have served up as a beautiful, trilogy cincher there. That would have been great. So, I don't know, man. I've loved this movie, man. Like I said, forever. I've never been a hater of this movie. I always loved the performances in this movie, and it just feels, it just feels the decade that I grew up in. I was 10 years old in 1980, so I pretty much lived that decade to the fullest as one could live it, I guess. Man, I absolutely love it. I love the Arrow release. Stephen Thrower has got a beautiful Still Feeling the Buzz documentary. Of course, that's the guy you can find on a lot of other Arrow releases dealing with Fulci. Building Fulci City is one of my favorites. Got some some great commentaries. You've got a cast commentary. And you also have Tobe Hooper on there as well as a commentary, and a huge making of this film. And so so Texas Chainsaw, man, it was really fun to revisit this thing. So I don't know what else to say about it, except, man, it's one of my all-time favorites, man. And Dennis Hopper is freaking awesome. And I think the bridge scene might be one of my favorites there. So, but anyways, it is the first week in August, and I just wanted to say, it was a great theme week, the week that just came by. And of course, each and every day was awesome with a new film with House in the title. So if by some chance you missed it, you need to go backwards a little bit, check some of those out. Huge shout out to Glenn, Jason, Chris, Fish, Lonnie, Brad, James. These are the guys who are making it possible right now. Lonnie's doing a little bit of fill-in for Fish as he's off working on a film, which is really super awesome that he gets that opportunity. But some big things are coming down. And in fact, last night we had our first, with this group, our first, online chat or whatever, last night, which was really cool. A few of us got together and talked for a few hours, which was great. August, just want to throw this out. IFC will be our label week next week, and then at the end of the month, John Rowland will be our theme week at the end, and so looking forward to that and each and every day that passes. So absolutely appreciate each and every one of you that takes the time and plugs in and watches the videos and hits that like button, comments below, and if you got any suggestions at all, man, definitely leave them down below. We always read and do our best to comment in a timely manner. So, with that being said, Tobe Hooper's 1986, as far as I'm concerned, a really awesome follow-up to his original. And I ought to say, too, Caroline Williams, who plays Stretch, she is also in the hospital scene in Rob Zombie's H2. So, you know, just with a lot of people from the 70s and early 80s, he got work again. She was one of them, which is cool to see her there. But anyway, so we'll leave it at there. Just keep plugging along, and again, appreciate and everything you guys do in terms of support and whatnot, and just be excited with us as we start seeing some things happen down the road. Anyways, we always leave these things off with Go Bills.